Make sure this thing is right. Make sure it's right. What's up, y'all? What's going on with YouTube family? Welcome back to the Emperor Atheist channel with your host, the Emperor Atheist. I might be changing my name soon. I don't know. I might be changing my name soon. I want to think of something like superhero-ish. You know what I mean? Something godlike. You know what I'm saying? But like some type of, I don't know, Greek god name or some shit. I don't know. But I was talking to a couple of fellow atheists a couple of days ago, as a matter of fact, and we were speaking about Neil Degrasse Tyson. And I know a lot of y'all familiar with Neil Degrasse Tyson, most popular astrophysicist in the world today. Happens to be black, and he does this show. He's picked up from Carl Sagan. He's actually a protege of the late Carl Sagan, one of the best physicists ever lived, best scientist. But the thing about Neil Degrasse Tyson, and I'm going to put this, I got the link in the video, is a podcast he did with Sam Harris about the term atheist and why he doesn't basically consider himself an atheist. I think it's a very fucking weak position. And I actually hope Neil Degrasse Tyson watched this video. I've met him in person twice, and didn't really get around to asking him this because I think it's a couple of years ago he made this particular video, and somebody asked him was he an atheist, and he basically kind of ran from the question. He said no, I don't want to get caught up in these labels, and he basically said the same bullshit on the Sam Harris podcast. He said, I don't really want to get caught up in these labels. He said if it's anything that basically would fit me, it would be the term agnostic. But on the Sam Harris podcast, he would say even he don't even want to use the term agnostic. He said that the only "ist" that he basically is a scientist. Now, I'm just going to say this, man. I'm not going to make this video long. And I know a lot of people love Neil Degrasse Tyson. I respect him too. I love him too. But I think he's a coward for not being want to be called atheist. And I'm going to tell you why. Everybody has a right to be labeled or called what they want. But for Tyson to have a platform as big as he has and popularity that he has, and him being over a lot of scientific endeavors, and him changing history with the planet Pluto. I mean, Pluto is not even considered a planet anymore because of the discoveries of Tyson within the last few years. Basically, as far as under the definition of a planet, then Tyson basically went on to see that, well, Pluto can't be a planet because of the definition that we understand a planet to be, which a definition by planet is just something that basically owns or dominates its particular area, and Pluto obviously doesn't. So basically, he was responsible for debunking Pluto as being a planet and changing the definition back down to just a regular rock, a regular asteroid. But all of these things Tyson's done, and things he's been popular for, him being over the very popular planetarium, and him hosting his show, hosting the show that he has. He took off from Carl Sagan. I mean, it seems to me that a person with this stature and the things that he's doing and has done in the past few years, he should be proud to call himself atheist because his views are atheistic. Everyone knows this. I mean, when you see people like Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, Dennett, Christopher Hitchens when he was alive, rest in peace, all of these people had big platforms, and they never deterred away from the term atheist. So I'm trying to figure out why the hell is Neil Degrasse Tyson so afraid to be called an atheist? What is the issue? Because one thing about it, he said he don't want to get caught up in labels. But even if you refer to yourself saying that it's a word that'll fit, the closest that would be fit to you would be agnostic. Although in all of your videos and all of your speeches against religion, you speak atheistic. And then I'm going to get on the differentiation between agnostic and atheism. Like I always say, and like Richard Dawkins eloquently put in his book, The God Illusion. And for those of you who haven't read The God Illusion by Richard Dawkins, you really need to read it. It's been out for some years now. Great book. But it's a chapter in The God Delusion that Richard Dawkins actually put on the term agnostic, and it's called The Poverty of Agnosticism. And he goes in very, very eloquently and explains, I mean, his explanation is very clear. In other words, for those who claim to be agnostic and to say, well, we just don't know, he's saying it's a cowardly position. It's just a position that's kind of illogical, because all of us are agnostic to some degree. We're agnostic to everything. But to understand the difference in the philosophical stance for atheism versus the philosophical stance for agnosticism is like such a big parallel, and it's such a big difference. And it shows that those who claim to be agnostic, or even want to refer themselves to being agnostic, then they are basically deluding themselves to not understand that they are still atheistic. They're still atheists in mind. Because atheism, like I just made a video not too long ago, what is atheism? It's simply the rejection of a theist belief. It's a simple stance, it's a simple definition. Yes, we're also agnostics. I am an atheist, right? But I'm also agnostic, meaning I don't know. I don't know a lot of things. I'm agnostic to aliens. I'm agnostic to purple beings from the Andromeda galaxy. I'm agnostic to these things. But no one is presenting or saying that purple people or red men from Martian actually are real, and they created us. When somebody actually brings a theory like this and says that it's real, and says that these Martian men are gods, once they go up to that level and say, yes, these aliens or these UFOs or ET is a god, then I become atheist towards that. But until then, I'm only agnostic towards it. So there's a lot of things that we are agnostic to. But when it comes to any belief in any deity, for you to say that you're agnostic towards it, well, I don't know. The purple monster might be real, or the spaghetti god may be real. It's a very weak stance. Because, like I said, and like Christopher Hitchens used to always say, as far as the position of that Lucretius and Democritus took, there's no reason. Atheism is basically on the line of there being no reason to accept theism on any level, or to accept any deity. There's no reason or no evidence to accept any deity. So why be agnostic towards that? And we can play semantics here all day, all night. But why be agnostic towards something that has no reason to have a belief, has no evidence, has nothing to back it up? So I am atheistic towards these gods. And Neil Degrasse Tyson, for him to take a weak position to say he don't want any labels, well, I'm sorry, sir, but this is a society. This is how society constructs things. You are an atheist. Now, if you want to say you don't want to be called something, but you say you're a scientist. A scientist is still a label. Although it's what you went to school for, it's what you do. But it's still a label. It doesn't matter how you try to play semantics, Mr. Tyson. It's still a label. And if you get up and you do all these talks against theism, because that's what you do. All of your talks, a lot of your talks, when you talk about the God of the gaps, you're speaking against religion. Atheism is anti-theism. It's simple, and that's what you're doing. You're speaking against religion. You know, so when you say that these gods, and when you talk about Isaac Newton, who you always talk about, and you talk about how Isaac Newton went to a certain point, then he had to throw God in there, and you talk about how science is, for years is closing the gap on the gods of the gap theory, then you, my friend, are speaking from an anti-theist view, which makes you an atheist, or makes you speak from an atheist view. Whether you want to be called an atheist or agnostic or whatever you want to be called, or there is such term as atheist agnostics. So I mean, so whether you want to be called these things is irrelevant. That is the construct of society. This is the society we live in. People are going to call you and refer to you by the way you speak, things that your stance, and it's simple as that. So I think it's a very weak stance for someone of your stature to avoid the term atheist. And he said on the Sam, I mean, y'all gonna hear it because I put the link in the video, so y'all gonna listen to it. Sam Harris kind of makes him look kind of foolish, because it's like Neil deGrasse Tyson study coming up with excuses why he don't want to be called atheist, and these are some of the reasons why he said. Now, I agree with him on some of these reasons in part, but not to say that I'm not an atheist. He said, and some of his reasons were that, well, you know, some of the atheists that he know or have seen or have heard, they're wild, or they're out there, or they say crazy stuff, or they carry themselves in a certain type of way. So in other words, there are some people, basically, there are certain people who make the term atheist look bad. So In other words, he don't want to be associated with the term, since there are other people who make themselves look bad who call themselves atheists. Well, I'm going to say this on this point, Neil Degrasse Tyson, that is so stupid. And I'm going to give you an example. You don't seem, you're a very logical man. You're an astrophysicist, top of your field. I mean, you're a member of the National Academy of Sciences, so you're not dumb. Your IQ is probably very high. So I'm just going to make a simple example that I know you will understand, sir. It's your excuse for trying to alienate yourself from the term atheist, with that excuse you use on the Sam Harris podcast, is like me saying, well, there are other humans who are murderers and rapists and killers and this or that. There are other humans who are just stupid. There are other humans who are Christian and Muslims and this. So I don't want to associate myself with the term human because they're doing things that I don't like. That's how stupid you sound, Mr. Tyson. There's always going to be people in every group or label, quote unquote, label or social construct that are going to not do everything that you do or say the things that you like. What does that have to do with the natural terminology of the term atheism? Not a damn thing to do with it. Because this atheist over here is stupid or he does something dumb, does it make me not say I'm an atheist? Stalin was an atheist. Okay, so what? Stalin was stupid. The shit that he done in Russia was ignorant. And this is the thing that religious people, they'll try to use this. They say, oh, Stalin was a atheist. They say Hitler, even though we know Hitler wasn't an atheist, but these are some of the logical fallacies that religious people use. And I'm not trying to get off the track. But the point I'm making, although Stalin may have been an atheist, what the fuck do that have to do with me? I don't give a damn about Stalin being an atheist. Atheism didn't make Stalin do what he did. Atheism is simple. Atheism makes no assertions. Atheism is not communism. Atheism does not want to kill people. Atheism doesn't want to rape people. Atheism doesn't make you talk stupid, or atheism definitely doesn't make you be intelligent or smart either. Atheism is a simple stance. The only thing atheism is the rejection of theism. So for you to use that as an excuse, Mr. Tyson, I think is weak, and I think it actually hurts the humanist the humanist platform or secularist platform. See all these words you can use? You don't have to use atheist. So many different terms you can use. I'm gonna call myself an atheist, period. But there's so many other terms you can use: a naturalist, secularist, humanist, whatever you want to use. Non-religious, you can say that, I guess. But the point I'm making, you're actually hurting the platform because you have such a big platform that you could actually bring a lot of people into the philosophical means of atheism. And I think that's another thing. I think that you are basically just a great scientist. You speak well a lot of times. But I don't think you've actually studied the philosophical stance for atheism. I think you need to go and read people like Bertrand Russell and David Hume, John Locke and George Berkeley. I think you need to go read these people. And just Sam Carroll, Sean Carroll. I mean, you need to go read some of the philosophical stances for atheism. I think science alone is not going to do it because they'll simply something. And people make this mistake to try to actually make atheism synonymous with science, and that's not the case. Either way, science is not synonymous with atheism, and atheism is not synonymous with science. There are some atheists who don't really have a good understanding of science. And obviously there are some scientists, like Neil Degrasse Tyson, for example, who's a great scientist, who is anti-theist, but he don't really have a philosophical great understanding of atheism, because if he did, then he would embrace the term. I think Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins have a very great understanding of the philosophical stance of atheism. And it's simple as that. But this is why I just wanted to make this video, man. I think Neil deGrasse Tyson is actually letting the atheist community down. I'm not going to lose no sleep over it. I just want to say he's a coward. But I'm just saying he really could help. Because of the platform he has, he really could help out a lot. That's basically all I wanted to say about that, man. I think it's a weak stance that he's taking, and it's going to continue to be a weak stance. People, if you reject these false gods and these false religions, stand up and say it. Don't be, I think I'm an agnostic. You're an atheist. You're an atheist. Even religious people, and I've said this a lot on podcasts. I've said it. I'm going to say it in my book. I've said it on prior videos. Even agnostics, or not agnostic, but even religious people are atheists to other gods. A Christian is an atheist when it comes to Zeus. You ask a Christian or a Muslim, do they believe in Zeus or the god Mazda or any of the monkey gods of India? They're going to say no, they don't believe in them. Why? Because they're atheistic towards those gods. They're not agnostic toward them. You ask William Lane Craig, any of these religious people, are you agnostic about the Hindu gods? These Christian scholars are going to say, no, I'm not agnostic about these gods. I don't believe they exist, period. They're atheistic towards these gods. They're not agnostic about these gods because they believe Jesus Christ is their Lord and Savior. That's it. They don't believe in the monkey gods. They don't believe in the gods of Baal or Canaan or Zeus. They don't believe in the gods of Egypt. They're atheistic towards these gods. So even religious people are atheists to all other gods. The only difference between basically an atheist and a religious person is that the atheist, like Richard Dawkins, I heard him say in the video years ago, the only difference between the atheist and the religious person is that the atheist goes one God further. That's it. We just go one more God further. We reject your God. You reject all other gods. You're atheist toward other gods. We reject your silly God. That's it. But once again, man, thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for all my likes. Thanks for everything. Thanks for your comments, good or bad, man. You know, I try to comment sometimes back and forth. You know, I try to see my comments when I'm not busy and to see what people are saying and what people are thinking. Because I actually respect your opinion, whether you agree or disagree with me. I respect everybody's opinion on everything. And I try not to, even though people might come at me sideways, I try not to respond back sideways, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. I'm the Atheist. I'm out. Thanks for watching again.